All right, what's going on, guys? Robbie here. Hope you're doing great, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be going over something very, very important here as you begin your journey here in Commission Hero 2.0. And I want to talk about success and developing habits that lead to success. Now, obviously, inside of Commission Hero 2.0, you're going to get access to the tools, the software, the automation, all the good stuff, right? All the things that you need to be successful, right? But I want to talk about something that's very, very important, and quite frankly, I think one of the most important things when it comes to being successful with Commission Hero 2.0 or anything in general, right? And the reason why I say that is because at the end of the day, you can have all the tools, you can have everything you need, right? But if you don't have the right mindset, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't think you can actually do it, right, then you're not going to be where you want to be in life, right? And that's why it's so important for me. And I really hold on to this. You'll see as you go into the Commission Hero coaching group and you go in here, you're going to see a lot of talk about mindset, talking about being successful, having habits that lead to success, right? So in this presentation today, in this video, we're going to be going over 7 success habits to develop right now. And I think this will be very helpful for you. And I would highly suggest, right, that you listen to this several times, okay? Because it's not something that you're just going to listen to once, implement right away, and then you're good to go. Of course not, right? Because it takes time, it takes repetition, right? It's just like going to the gym. You know, if you go to the gym once and you don't go again, are you going to get in shape? Probably not, right? It takes repetition, right? It takes that consistency. That's so important. That's what we're going to be going over today as well. So let's dive into it, guys. So success habit number 1, let's get into that right now. And that is have a specific vision for this year, right? So right now we're in 2022 at the time of this recording. And it's so important, right, that you guys have a specific vision for yourself, right, and for your success. Most people go through life without a specific vision for their life or success, right? And that's why most people just kind of wander through life aimlessly, hoping and wishing and praying to be successful, right? Or to get, improve their lives. But they never get there, right? And the reason why is because they don't have a specific vision for that, right? Most people just say, I want to get rich, right? Or I want to have a lot of money, or I wish I had more time, right? All those things are things we hear all the time from people. Maybe even say this yourself, okay? But the problem is at the end of the day, guys, you got to have a specific vision, right? And so some of those questions you need to ask yourself when it comes to that specific vision is, number 1, what do you want? Right? What do you want? Okay. Once you decide what you want, then decide when do you want it by. Right? So it's not just about what you want, but also when do you want to do it? Right? When do you want to accomplish it? Or why do you want it? Right? Why do you want it? Right? All those things are so important. All right? So important to remember that, guys, because with clarity of vision, having a specific vision, when things get hard, and guys, yes, they will get hard. Right? There'll be times where you want to quit. There'll be times where you may want to give up. Right? There's going to be times where you're not motivated. There's going to be times where you feel like just quitting, right? And that's going to happen, right? I'm not going to, paint sunshine and rainbows. That's life, right? Sometimes you'll be doing here in Commission Hero 2.0. Maybe you get into week 2, week 3. You may want to quit. You may want to give up, right? But here's the thing. If you have the right clarity of vision, even when things get hard, you have the ability to keep going and stay locked on target, right? So important, right? To stay locked on target and to have that clarity of vision, right? It's very similar, right? It's very similar to, you go on a vacation, right? You plan a vacation. And guess what? When you plan that vacation, what are you doing, right? Are you planning and thinking about the plane ride? Or are you thinking about all the luggage you got to carry? No, you're thinking about the end goal, right? And when you plan a vacation, guess what you're doing? Even though it may be months out, right? It may be months out. Maybe you're going to Disney World. Maybe you're going to that tropical island, wherever it is, Turks and Caicos or something like that, right? What are you doing? Well, I'm sure in your mind, you're picturing yourself on that beach, right? You're picturing yourself with your loved ones. You're picturing yourself relaxing and having a good time, right? And that's what it's all about. You have that clarity of vision when it comes to something like a vacation. So you can absolutely have a clarity of vision when it comes to anything else you do in life, right? Now, the cool thing is when things get hard, right? Say you're on the plane heading towards your vacation and the plane ride gets a little bumpy, right? Are you going to give up, right? Are you going to jump out of the plane? No, of course. You got to see it through, right? Because you have that clarity of vision. You're locked on target and you're in. And that's what I want you guys to do with your goals here in 2022. And remember, the other cool thing about this, guys, is having a clarity of vision, a specific vision for yourself, means that it isn't so much about what you're going to accomplish, right? It's more about what you're going to be excluding from your life, all right? Now, this is very important. This is something that a lot of people overlook, okay? And a lot of people will say, oh, geez, you know what? I need to do all these different things. Like if I need to be more successful, I need to try this. Whereas when you have that clarity of vision, right? And you're like, I want to make this amount of money, this amount of time, and this is why I want to do it, right? Plus all the details. Guess what? When some other opportunity comes about that doesn't go in line with that, guess what? You will say no to it because it's not part of your vision. And so that's important, because when you learn your clarity of vision, it really gets you laser focused on what you want to do, right? So my challenge for you guys right now, decide what your vision is for yourself and for your business in 2022. Okay. Success habit number 2 is stop negotiating with yourself. Oh my gosh. How many people here, and if you're watching this video, how many times have you negotiated with yourself, right? So, and not just on a daily basis, but like on a multiple daily basis, right? So for example, how many times during the day do you negotiate with yourself? So for example, if you set an alarm in the morning and it goes off, what do? Do you wake up immediately? Or do you just sit there, right? Do you hit the snooze button, right? Or do you hit it twice or 3 times or 4 times, right? Chances are you might. Okay, that's negotiating with yourself. You set an alarm and it went off and you didn't get up. Okay, that's telling your body, hey, you know what? I'm not going to win today, right? That's not a win. A win would be alarm goes off, you get up, or you get up before the alarm goes off. That's winning the day right there, right? Another one, when you say you're going to get in shape, do you actually do it, right? There was a time in my life where, even though I owned a gym and was a personal trainer, there'd be a time where I wasn't working out. I was just kind of in a rut, okay? And I would say, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to start on Monday. Right? Then, 20 Mondays go by and I'm not in shape yet, right? And so what did I have to do? I had to decide, hey, I need to make this happen. I need to make this actually work. And so that's exactly what I did, right? So make sure you guys do that as well, right? Make sure when you say you're going to do it, you do it, right? When you write down your goals, do you actually follow through? I see so many people. As a matter of fact, one of the big things I see when people join the coaching group for Commission Hero and Commission Hero 2.0, right? In the coaching group, I see says, what's the email you use to register with? What's your goals? What do you want to do? I see people write down their goals, right? And then guess what happens? A week goes by, a month goes by, and they don't do it. You got to follow through, right? All that matters is what you do, right? That's all that matters, right? You only get paid for done. Right? So also when you say you're going to go all in, do you actually go all in, right? You have to go all in, right? And when you're going to say you're going to give 100%, do you actually do it, right? Maybe not 100% overall, but 100% for that day, right? Maybe you're feeling, 90% great that day. Well, you should do 100% for that day, right? That's so important, right? And that's why a pro tip here, guys, is to have an operator mentality. What I mean by that is, if you're, I have some friends that are in the military. I have a couple of friends that were Navy SEALs. And one of the things they always said was you have to have an operator mentality. When you're on a mission, it doesn't matter if you have a headache. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you feel like doing it or not. You have a mission, right? You are an operator. You have to go. You have to make it work, right? Regardless of whether you feel good or not, you have a job to do, right? And so I would encourage you to do the same thing when it comes to your success, is to set down those goals and then be an operator, right? Doesn't matter if you have a headache, doesn't matter if you don't feel like it or not, right? Put in the work, because over the long term, it's going to make a huge difference in your success, right? So have that operator mentality, and that will make a huge difference in the long run, right? Because there's so many times where, for me in my life, my business and things I don't want to do things, right? There's times where I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to do this today, right? Or perfect example, I remember there was earlier last year, I got invited to speak at an event in Dubai, right? And for some people, that would be a cool thing, and it was a cool thing, don't get me wrong, but for me, it was like, oh man, I don't want to fly 15 hours. I got work to do here. I got stuff to do on my own stuff. I don't want to fly 15 hours and have to give a talk and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? But I knew this was the right thing to do. I knew I had to do it. So what did I do? I got on the plane, made it happen, and then later on, I felt great, right? But you have to have the operator mentality. When you train yourself to do it and to have that mindset, you're going to be in a much, much better place, okay? So hopefully this is making sense so far, guys. And let's transition into success habit number 3, which is soft skills versus hard skills. So hard skills are tactical things that you can do to get more sales, right? To get more sales on your ads, to scale up your campaigns, grow your business. These are skills you can buy, right? And what I mean by that is eventually if you wanted to hire someone to run your ads for you, you could. If If you want someone to help scale your business and hire VAs, you can do that too. We talked about that here in Commissioner 2.0. But really the ones that we need to focus on to be successful are the soft skills, right? Soft skills are skills you cannot buy. You have to develop them, right? And so things that are going to fall into that category of soft skills are going to be like your relationship with money, right? That's a big one, right? Because a lot of people get scared. They kind of have a weird relationship with money, which limits their success, right? With things like this. And you have to realize to have that relationship to allow yourself to be successful. Your emotional discipline is also a soft skill. How emotionally disciplined are you? When things get tough or you have a little setback or when you're stuck in traffic, right? Or when you're late to something that you didn't want to be late to. How do you handle it? Does it ruin your day, right? Or is it just a bump in the road, right? Developing that emotional discipline where you essentially are changing your Richter scale for yourself, right? And what I mean by that is, you guys know what a Richter scale is. It's like when an earthquake happens on a scale of 1 to 9, how bad was it, right? Was it a 7? Was it a 1? 1 being a low, not a big deal. 7, 8, 9 being a really big deal, right? You need to figure out what your Richter scale is for your life and figure that out. And then figure out why and how you can get those 7, 8, 9s down to a 1, 2, or 3, right? So a perfect example is when someone's stuck in traffic. A lot of people, that's their Richter scale, is at like an 8 or a 9. It ruins their day, it ruins their week, right? Whereas other people, it doesn't bother them at all. So we need to learn how to, increase our emotional discipline, and that'll make a big difference, right? Your ability to handle pressure is a soft skill, right? Being able to handle pressure, being able to take on more things that other people couldn't do or you couldn't do before, right? Your ability to zoom out. This is a big one. I see a lot of people in Commission Hero and a lot of times where, they'll look at their ads, for example, on a day-to-day basis and be like, oh my gosh, I only made $100 today. And the next day, oh my gosh, I didn't make any money today. And the next day, oh my gosh, I lost some money today, right? And then when you zoom out and you're like, oh, well, maybe I lost a little bit of money today, but over the week, I'm up a couple $1,000s, right? So the ability to zoom out, right, to have that 40,000 foot view, it's so important because when you do that, you were able to have more solutions, right? It's very similar. I remember when I was, for me, I love astronomy, I love space. And it's so crazy to me, so mind-boggling when you look at, for example, there was a photo the other day I saw that it was a satellite image from Saturn, and you saw Earth, and Earth was just like this little tiny speck, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like all my problems, all my, things that I go through on a daily basis are in that little speck, right? And so just really makes you realize, maybe it's not that big of a deal after all. Maybe I shouldn't let that ruin my day. Maybe I should just figure out a solution to this because in the end of the day, like when you zoom out, you're like, wow, this I'm not as big as I think I am, right? So that's important there as well, right? Also, the ability not to self-sabotage is so important as well, right? Not getting in a position where you have success and then you decide, you know what, I'm just going to ruin it for myself and I'm going to go back to my old habits, right? I used to see this a lot in the gym, right? As a personal trainer. People get in great shape, they lose 10 pounds, guess what they start doing, right? They go back to their old ways, eating all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And they gain the weight back and then some, right? Because they gave themselves and fell back to their old ways, right? You don't want to do that, okay? Soft skills are, in most cases, the limiting factor to your success as well, right? So if you're wondering what it is that's going to hold you back from being successful, well, it's going to be those soft skills. So start by stacking those wins in your life, okay? Success habit number 4, take extreme ownership. So important, right? Because most people in life, I see this all the time, they put the blame on everything and everyone else when it comes to a lack of success in any area of their life, okay? I've seen people in the past say, geez, the reason why I haven't been successful yet is because of Facebook, right? Or the reason I haven't been successful yet is because of all these other courses I joined, right? Or the reason I haven't been successful is because my parents said I couldn't be successful, right? All these different things, right? Very rarely do I ever see someone say, you know what, the reason why I'm not successful is because of me, right? And it's only because of me, right? And the moment that you stop and you stop blaming everybody else and everything else around you and come to realize that everything starts and stops with you, your success it'll explode, right? I guarantee it, okay? And the reason why is because when you stop blaming other people and put the whole weight of your success or failure on your own shoulders, right? Guess what? Now you have to be solution-based and you can't make excuses, right? Because when you blame somebody else for your lack of success, right? Guess what? There's no room for you to come up with a solution because you've just deflected that success on somebody else, right? And you can't, right? You have to realize, guys, that things don't happen. They happen for you. They don't happen to you, okay? So you have to take extreme ownership for your success. Whether you succeed or whether you fail, it's always going to be your fault, okay? Whether you like it or not. And so when you realize that, and I realized that a long time ago, and it's changed my life forever, because now I realize when something doesn't go the way that I want to, I'll stop and say, okay, what did I do wrong? What can I improve on? How can I fix it, right? And you need to do the same thing too, guys. And remember, nobody's beyond suffering, right? Nobody's beyond suffering and setbacks. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're religious or not, but even Jesus suffered, right? And so you have to realize that, guys, that, suffering is part of entrepreneurship. It's part of being successful, right? Every person that's very successful, they've suffered, right? They've had long nights. They've had times where they couldn't make their next payment, right? There's been all these things. And maybe you're going through that right now as well. But just remember, guys, it's okay. It's part of the process, right? It makes you better. It makes you stronger, right? It's so important. Sometimes in life, guys, you got to realize that in order to get to where we want to do, sometimes it feels like the opposite thing is happening, right? So, for example, I remember a lot of times when you're working out, and the reason why I use examples of working out is because obviously I love doing that stuff and owned a gym, right? And so one of the things that I realized is that when anytime you'd work out, guess what? You feel pretty weak, right? You feel tired, right? You feel like, oh my gosh. But guess what? Because you were working out, even though you felt weak and tired, it was actually making you stronger, right? Or if you were going to invest, right? Or if you're going to invest in yourself financially, right? Sometimes it may feel like, oh my gosh, like I spent this money on Commission Hero 2.0, for example. Oh my gosh, like it was $2,500. And you may feel like, wow, I feel like I spent too much. Or maybe when in actuality, guys, you're actually in the long run saving money, right? In the long run, you're buying time, you're buying speed for your success, right? So remember, sometimes it feels the opposite of what's actually happening. Okay, that's a good thing. All right. Success habit number 5 is success is not linear, right? People tend to think of success as a start and finish. It is not. When people think like that, they end up starting several linear progressions, right? Which means that they'll say, I'm going to start this other business model, or I'm going to try this other course, I'm going to try this other method, right? So what happens is, guys, at the end of the day, like you start doing a lot of things thinking you're doing the right thing, but in actuality, you aren't, right? So you're starting this, imagine like building this bridge, right? And there's like this big canyon, right? And you say, you know what, I'm gonna start this thing. You start building that bridge, right? And then you say, you know what, I'm gonna try this other thing. Then you start building another bridge across the canyon, then another bridge, then another bridge. And guess what? You've done a lot of quote unquote work, but still you don't have anything set up that allows you to get over the canyon, right? Whereas instead of that, guys, you have to think of success, right, as planting seeds, all right? That way you constantly water those seeds, right? It doesn't always grow right away, right? Sometimes it takes time. And sometimes you can't even see the progress, right? But you have to water it. Now, you have to water consistently. You can't water just once and then be done with it. You have to water consistently every day, twice a day. And then eventually what happens is you get to harvest them, right? And that's the thing that I see a lot of people in life, right? A lot of people, they are trying to harvest something they didn't even plant, right? And I see a lot of people that say, you know what, why am I not where I want to be yet? Why am I not making thousands per day yet, right? Well, you haven't planted the seeds, right? And so you got to plant the seeds first and then eventually harvest later on. You can't do the opposite, right? And so that's what I really want to encourage you guys to do here inside Commission Hero 2.0 is plant the seeds. And by planting the seeds, I mean, go through the course, go through the training, go through everything we talk about here in Commission Hero 2.0. And then eventually you're going to be able to harvest them, right? What I mean by that is you're going to be able to make income, have success, and it really is possible. It really, really is there, okay? Success habit number 6 is ask questions, do not make statements. What I mean by that is very, very powerful here, guys. Anytime you ask a question, it always opens the mind to solutions, right? So if you were to say to yourself, how can I afford this? Guess what? That opens up the possibility of solutions where you will think about how you can afford this. If you say to yourself, I can't afford this, well, guess what? There's no possibility for solutions because statements always close the mind to possibility of solutions. Always train yourself to say, how can I? Instead of I can't, right? Or how can I scale up this offer instead of I can't scale up this offer? When you do that, you'll find there's always solutions, right? And then success habit number 7, one of my favorite ones is be a shark, right? Be a shark. Because what do sharks do? Well, guess what? A shark is a shark, right? Does a shark ever wake up and say, you know what? Man, I'm pretty tired today. Ooh, it's been a busy day. I was up late. Like, maybe I won't do so many shark things today. No, a shark does shark things, right? And that's what I want you guys to do, right? Same goes for you as an entrepreneur. Get up every day and do whatever it takes to be successful. Hunt down your goals with the same ferocity that a shark would, right? Because a shark is a shark, right? It knows nothing else. The same thing needs to happen with you, right? If you want to be successful, go and do it, right? And think like a shark. Just go out and make it happen. So hopefully this module here, this video in this module makes a lot of sense, gets you fired up and excited. I would recommend watching this a few times. Take notes, get excited about this because it's so important, guys. Success habits are developed. It's not something you can just kind of implant and listen to once and now you got it. You have to be repetitive with it. But boy, oh boy, it is absolutely worth it once you do. So that's it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next video.